I'll hold it close so I can hear you through your mask.
Okay, yeah, it's tough to hear.
Anyways, see, things seem to be a little more calmer today.
The plan is to keep it here in Civic Center and not march up and down Market Street because of all the controversy that has been directed toward us for closing all of the BART stations, even though it wasn't us closing them. Simply walking up and down Market Street apparently was enough to get the BART police to close the stations, which then got people angry at us. So we decided to just stay here today.
So that they don't close the station, you don't make people mad.
Exactly. See what happens.
Yeah.
We've always got next week. If this doesn't work out too well, we can go back to marching next week.
As far as turnout of actual Anonymous, is this comparable to last week? Or
no, it's early yet. Normally most everyone shows up by 6 o'clock is when the most people get here.
I see.
So we'll see what happens. You know, last week was a little smaller than the week before.
I heard there might be some crossover with burners that the Burning Man people left.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. I didn't think about that. We'll see. And I guess there's supposed to be a counter-protest, but we'll see.
Held by who?
I guess there was a Facebook group started that was angry about us closing the BART station. So it was commuters against Anonymous, basically. So we'll see.
We'll see if they show up.
But the media reported heavily on it, so we'll see.
Huh, okay. Are you afraid that, like, well, since Anonymous is kind of a disparate group, are you afraid that, or dispersed group, are you afraid some will go ahead and go in the BART stations like last week?
Anonymous certainly doesn't do that. I mean, there are other groups here that, you know, as you saw on the news, some were throwing garbage cans in the street and things like that. Those weren't members of Anonymous, but Anonymous has put out the call for the protest. So everyone who comes here, in a way, could be called Anonymous. You don't have to participate on online chat rooms and all that kind of stuff to be anonymous. Anyone can be anonymous. So
if they cover their face?
They don't have to. Anyone who agrees with this particular cause that shows up here could be considered anonymous.
Are you going to stick with these protests each Monday as long
as they go, yeah, or until the demands are met. Linton's gone. The BART police either are unarmed or get a significantly more rigorous training. You know, use of deadly force is, you know, much less easy to come by. It seems it's pretty quick on the trigger, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we'll see if anything's done about it. And if not, we'll be here every week.
Would you say the Anonymous that are here so far today are on the same page with the sort of mission of staying out of the BART station today?
Absolutely. That's the call we put out. In fact, these medics right here dressed in black are called the Anon medics, and they put out the call to keep it here, and that was retweeted by everyone, and it seems to be the accepted format for this protest.
Are they like respected tweeters within Anonymous?
There are tweeters that carry more weight or more credibility, and they are one of them. But what usually happens is someone comes up with an idea, other people agree with it, and then it gets kind of passed up to the people who have more followers on their Twitter accounts, and then when they tweet it, it gets more credibility.
Who are like the heavy hitters as far as the tweeters?
Your Anon News, Anoni Ops, Anon Ops, Op Bart, all of those.
Okay. Anon Medics.
Yeah, they go by Anon Medics on Twitter.
Okay. Are you a big tweeter?
No, I don't know. I'm generally on the IRC where we talk.
Yeah, I heard that got hacked, or they had
No, there was a DDoS attack on it, which is just a denial of service. It's not getting hacked. It's just like a cyber sit-in. So many people are sending requests to the chat server that legitimate users can't get on it. And that lasted for a week. And it's interesting how when Anonymous does a DDoS, the federal government gets involved, the FBI investigates us, but when someone does it to us, you don't hear a word.
Well, I think it's a different target, right? When Anonymous does it, they actually do government targets sometimes.
Not always. Not always. We've targeted private organizations before, or even individuals, and they every time. Maybe it's because we get more press. Who knows? Or we're a bigger group, because you never know. We have no idea who just DDoSed the anonymous server. It could have been one person. It could have been a government. It could have been, you know, the Russian organized crime, who knows?
Do you have any idea who is behind the first hack? I mean, they came forward online. Have they...
Of the Bart database? I have no idea. The second one we know was supposedly a French girl, but who knows? But she came to us. No one had heard of this girl before, and she came to Anonymous with the information, and she posted it in the chat room, which, as you know, anyone can get in. So if she posts it there, it's going to be public no matter what happens, because anyone can be in that chat room. There can be media in there. There can be, you know, FBI in there. There can be anyone in there. So if it gets posted in there, it's going to leak. It doesn't have to be Anonymous who leaks it.
I see. Okay. And how many Anons would you say are showing up? Like last week, how many Anons showed up?
15 or 20 in masks.
Oh, okay.
But I can't say who doesn't wear masks.
I see. So it's kind of a minority of the protesters are actually anonymous.
Yeah,
and then it pulls...
if by that you count the people who are only wearing masks, yeah, we're the minority.
Okay. And then it pulls out more traditional protesting type organizations.
We definitely got some people last week whom I'm not even sure knew what the cause was. They just saw a protest and kind of joined in.
Yeah.
And from what I hear, that's somewhat regular for San Francisco protests.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, thank you.